Okay, let me ask you a question that quite a few people are asking on Twitter. They're saying that there is no show of will on the part of government, and part of the reason they're raising that question is something as simple as an emergency number we still don't have. Something as simple as consistency of military being able to track these people down and show that this is the success that they've got, we don't have. These are two of the things that are raised on Twitter this morning. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the fact that we don't have an emergency number does not prove that there's no will. After all, the military is on ground. They are fighting 11 BH elements killed in Michigan. You know, that's casualty on their part. Well, they killed a lot in Burma, unfortunately. But what that's I'm saying, they killed a lot of citizens, Nigerian citizens in Burma. BH did. So, but I think what the question Alero asked Otumba comes back in here. What is it that the military is doing that it shouldn't be doing? We do have the troops out there on ground, but now the military is retooling. They now have the CT. Remember, our military was trained to fight conventional wars, but this is not a conventional war. This is an irregular war. This is guerrilla war. So what did they do? They've set up a school in Niger State where they are training for CT, now counter-terrorism operations now, and they have other things going up, other structures going up, trying to retool them such that they can now fight this kind of irregular warfare. But you see, when you have a man who has been trained to just stand and have trenches on both sides, and the people are not coming from trenches, they are coming from behind and lobbing IEDs into their midst. You know, it's a different ball game. So they have to adapt. So now this is that's a question for our commanders, that we need to increase the speed of our adaptation, or in fact, let's call it adaptability, because you know,
I'm sorry to interject.
No
it
problem,
seems there's a little bit of digression from what I'm hoping will be a response to.
No,
in terms of
the will, yes.
Now, if a nation cannot in 2, 3, 4 years have one, what does it take to have an emergency number? And the question that a lot of people are saying regarding the emergency number, if the army and the federal government want intelligence,
they have to have a number.
They have to have a number that people can call, well, not 11-digit numbers.
Yes, and even beyond that, I recently said that they should have, I talked about force multipliers. Force multiplier is a capability of a combat force to extend its potential to engage the enemy. Now, why did I say force multipliers? Because we needed to get the citizens. I heard the young man, Issa Gusso, saying that, the security is everybody's business, this and that. You need to get the citizens calling in information on a daily basis.
But they don't have a number to call.
No, hold on, sir. That's what we are saying. And you need to train them or even pre-program. But we saw what happened. You see, you have to look at, because this is an existing conflict on ground. So you must look at what is on ground. It's not an ideal situation. They wanted to attack FGC, Buniyadi. They went and took out the telecoms mast. So how do you call out for help? That's why they stayed 6 hours in that place, burning, looting, pillaging, carrying away the young girls to, you know, marry forcibly. So, sir, this is existential reality. I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not talking about Obama and Pennsylvania now. That is very far away. I'm talking about Nigeria, that somebody knows he can do that. But what did I do to compensate for that? I said, give them radios, handset. Nigeria is more than wealthy enough to be able to afford even just one handset per community. You can't take out handset. So even if there's a signal, you key in to a command center, because the problem right now,
radio.
Exactly. Yeah. The problem right now is they are not able to get help. If you are in distress, you cannot call out. So it's the same thing you are saying, but I'm saying because the technological difficulties we're having, BH has figured out some way of destroying telecom sites such that they will have a tactical advantage. You know, that's another problem that we have there. So there are other ways of compensating for this. This is why, again, back to my first statement, intellectual. We have to understand the problem, the enemy we are dealing with. We have to understand the ways we need to deal with that problem and then come up with solutions. But when we talk about rebuilding schools so that Boko Haram come and destroy them again. That begs the question. You know, it doesn't make any sense, because it
So we should not rebuild them.
It's not. That's not the first order of battle. The first order of battle is to prevent. Obama goes to Boston to say we will catch these bombers, we will kill them. In 4 days they are caught and killed, and one of them is on trial right now. That is believable, because he said we will give you whatever you require. We'll give BPD, Boston Police Department, whatever they require in terms of federal resources, and he did. So, you know, it's almost like a Pygmalion effect, self-fulfilling prophecy. You say it, it happens.
Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask Mr. Kentebet this, because on the basis of
add to what he said,
yes.
you know, you're talking about this infrastructure, and you know, but you need to understand that the sophistication of the BH people has been growing over the years. So if you, no matter what you do, I see this as a concerted effort where they sit down and they analyze more of what we're doing on the side of government, whether state, local, or federal, and they're able to get there before you. So bringing these things in is not really an issue.
What the points I was going to raise is Doyin Ekhomu on Twitter is just saying, how can state governments fight Boko Haram without control of states of security apparatus? They don't have control over it.
Well, so no, they do have control of security apparatus. One, like I said earlier on,
there's no state police. There's no state.
You don't need state police. I think that's begging the issue. You don't need state police. This is a national issue. Yeah. One, you have federal funds, which you do not reject when they're given to you as a state government or local government. Two, you are in charge of the security in your state. There has never been a situation where one governor has come up and said, I get instructions to the Commissioner of Police to do something about Boko Haram, and that instruction was refused. So they are in control. They are in control. Okay? But to go to the state police issue, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we're all saying, let's come together, let's sit down as a country, let's have this national conference, let's decide, let Nigerians decide. And if it's state police that's on the table and Nigerians agree to that, then so be it, we'll go ahead and do that. But I don't think in this instance, you know, what is going on because we don't have state police is what is escalating the issue. No.
Well, the person is not talking about state police. I just added that to it. Okay. But what the person is talking about is security apparatus, and I guess that's the army. When the army comes and gets in control of what's happening on ground, I reckon they're not going to be there taking instruction from the governor. The governor might advise. I reckon that will be the situation, right?
No,
you are a security expert. Maybe you want to help.
If you ask the governor, I'll say if you come into a location, you have a governor there who is the head of that little regime, and there must be cooperation between the government and the governor of the state.
The governor of the state,
because you have to share information. You have to share intelligence.
But in terms of, you know, the military command, the way it operates, it's not going to defer to the authority of the governor, will it?
Particularly when there's an SOE in place, there's a state of emergency in place. The military commander has full authority to do whatever he needs to do. Now,
in essence, the governor is not in charge. He's not in charge of he can influence to some extent.
The governors are in place. You remember when President Jonathan declared the SOE on May 14th last year, he did not remove the political structures. He left them intact, and that was because he felt that the state should be run the normal way rather than, you know, whatever, and then he wanted to obey some constitutional injunctions there. But it would be better, it would have been better, in my judgment, if it had been made a full security operation, because that's hampering, is really, you know, is...
What do you mean by full security operation?
Yeah, if they had gone in there and appointed military commanders to run the...
right
now. Now, with benefit, when he did that, then we said that was a smart move. That was a deft move. But now we see that it's not working out too good. It's really
we don't know who's in charge, do we?
We are confused. I am even confused myself.
So who takes instruction from whom?
No, we know on the military operation, the military commander
is in charge.
Is in charge. Okay, but now we have we have so many operations on ground, because let me tell you what I mean by it's a problem now.
Oh, now we've got to start to wind down now.
Sorry, ma. Okay, no, I think this is
Final
one
word.
sentence before we take your
Thank
final
you.
word.
Thank you. Now, a situation where you have people moving around in ways that will help the enemy. Because remember, Boko Haram, they are not my friends, they are my enemies. You know, a situation that people move around in ways that will help the enemy appears to me that they are giving the enemy cover. They are masquerading. And the enemy can masquerade as them. And it's a problem because that just makes it infinitely more difficult for us. Because everybody can cry after an attack has occurred. But I would rather, like you said, prevent these attacks from occurring in the first place.
Okay, we've got to go now. So I'd like your last words on this, starting from Otumba. So what is the way forward? Are we going to continue to sleep with stay awake all night because our children are in school, because we are afraid for ourselves? What is the way forward?
Well, I've been in the military, okay? And one thing I would say, or one thing I know, once you attack a place and there is a little peace in that place, the sense of alertness is going away from the people. And that is the period this
insurgents come back.
So it will be something that is a continuous alert, continuous. Because what I have seen from my own people is that we've conquered this place, and then the next thing they go about,
normal business.
Yes.
Only to be attacked again.
Again. So
Okay.
that is the problem I
Mr.
want
Kentebe.
to.
Well, I think what I will say is that we all, as Nigerians, need to put sentiments, politics, and whatever aside and understand that this concerns each and every one of us. And we should come together, deliberate more on the issues, deliberate more on the proactive measures, and try to work together to curb this. This happened in the Niger Delta when we had the insurgencies there. The governors came together, and they said, look, this must stop. Okay. And we've seen the results of that.
Okay. Anna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, sir. I think there's too much of a focus. Why BH is able to take advantage of our loose porous security network is that there's too much of a focus on flashpoints. That is the actual flashpoint. Right now we have a hot zone. That is the northeast zone, and we are over-concentrated. But guess what BH is doing? They go and do sneak attacks in other places. So if you chart BH operations, you find that it's still happening in Bauchi, it's happening in Kano, it's happening in Kaduna, it's still going on in other places, and those are Nigerian lives being lost. So yes, we should concentrate resources in the hot zone, but we should also carefully map the other areas. Keep an eye, including Lagos, because they have a desire to attack Lagos, and we must deny them of that opportunity at all costs.
Thank you all very much. We have been chatting with two security experts on our Ekhomu on my left and Otumba Patrick Keku on my right, as well as a social commentator, Mr. Denzel Kentebe. And we also spoke to the special advisor to the Borno State Governor on Media, Mr. Issa Gusau, who spoke to us via telephone. Thank you all for coming to share your insights with us this morning. Sunrise will return in just a moment with yet another interesting segment. Stay with us.